All right, we should be live. Say some.
Something.
All right, we should be good. OBS is working. Let's make sure everything else is going. Where are my other headphones? Yep, I can hear. All right, well, welcome to our drawing stream. Last time we started, so Monday we played a round of the Zealot Core for our playtest, but we didn't get to do the draw portion of the stream, so we are going to do that tonight. I need to step away and do something. Joseph, would you take a look at the tab, community tab, and see what scene we're drawing tonight?
Sure, I'll do that right now.
I will be right
So,
back.
so you have a choice of 5 things that was voted on between Monday and now, and those things to draw were Bennett as Bronx, shoving/interrogating Rennet around Card being the bandit lieutenant. That got the second most votes. And then fight at the blockade, and then meeting Seralis, discovering the Great Tower, and the one that got the most votes, enjoying the road trip with Seralis on the way to the Great Tower. So we will be drawing that scene where they're in Seralis's car and Bennett is trying to have an excellent time with his road trip, because little did he know at the time that it was going to be wrought with danger, and in his ignorance he thought it would just be a chill kind of mission, and he'd enjoy it to the best of his abilities.
Well, I caught most of that. I caught what we're drawing.
Yes, the road trip.
All right. Well, let's get going. Do you want to draw the rough outline of the vehicle, or should I draw the rough outline of the vehicle?
I'll do that.
All right. So, do we do an interior shot, or should we do kind of like from outside and see people like sticking their heads out the windows and things like that?
That one, yes. I'm just doing a rough thing, not. Oh, wait.
You're fine. Just you go ahead and.
No, it's not that. I was just not the color I was trying to start with.
All right. Don't forget your perspective.
That's what I'm trying to remember.
Are we looking overhead at this vehicle, or what angle are we looking at?
Straight on. Yeah, I'll do a rough of the wheels to give you an idea.
Okay, so straight on would actually be 1 point perspective. What you've got going is almost closer to 2 point. You've drawn one vanishing point, but you need another one.
There.
Okay, so the one, yeah, there you go. So that one will be, that vanishing point, or that line will be pointing at the one off to the left, just like the top one.
Right.
What kind of vehicle are you imagining them in?
Something similar to something between a pickup truck and a minivan.
Okay, that works. Once you got the rough sketch in, I can help
Make
clean.
it look more like a car.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be upfront about it here. Cars are not my strong suit.
They're not mine either, so I am not even sure how I'm going to clean this up. But we're going to try.
Yes. Wanting to learn to draw cars and other vehicles better was a big part of what got me back into the Transformers about, say, 10, 12 years ago, I would say.
That's it. That's a good
I,
thing to get into for that.
yeah, I bought as much of the collected editions of the original Trans G1 comic book run as I could. They've printed the entire thing in collected edition. I just need the money to actually complete this collection now.
What have I been collecting lately? Warhammer stuff.
Speaking of which, my loyal subscriber, or excuse me, our loyal subscriber, Hollow Ubel, has been telling me about last night's Warhammer 40K and Warhammer reveals.
I need to catch up on those. I know that they announced 10th edition, and then there's a Primarch returning, Lionel Johnson.
Yes, it was pretty funny what the short 20-second video they put up to tease that announcement about an hour or so before the announcement.
I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, and there's a new Horus Heresy source book.
Cool. Yeah, I've kind of paused buying books at the moment because I've got so many that I bought in the last 3 months or so that I don't know when I'm going to touch them.
Yeah. With me, I'm waiting until I've moved to your neck of the woods to buy more books.
It's a good idea. One of the challenges is only so many of the Warhammer books are released at a time, and so if you don't buy them when they release, that there's a good chance that they'll go up in price.
Yeah, I know how that is.
So
My next, huh?
those lines still need a point at the vanishing points. The up and down ones are fine, but the ones you're drawing now need to point at the appropriate vanishing points. Yep, so that one points there, and then that other one, yep, just like that. I might actually move that vanishing point that's there on the right further out when I'm cleaning it up. I think it's way too close. Where it is, it's gonna give the vehicle more of a fishbowl lens appearance.
Yeah, I can kind of see that.
So just erase it, that vanishing point that's really close, and move it to the edge. No, not that one, the other one.
Oh, the other one.
Put it all the way on the end. Yep. So now, like that will point there, and that one will point there as well. So, well, I guess one of the things we could talk about is some of the stuff from the Unbreakable movie that I watched.
Oh, yes. I have not watched the movie yet, so
That's why I'm torn. I'm trying to I guess what I want to talk is more about some of the concepts from the movie rather than what actually happened in it.
yeah, that's more or less what I was going to say. You can talk to me about that stuff. I am going to watch it soon, so that way next time we're on stream and you want to talk more in depth, you won't feel so restrained.
Yeah. So one of the things about the movie is the movie is about people who have some significant differences, and so like one of the characters, his body is it's not much of a spoiler, but he's got a disease that makes it so his bones break really easy. And so he doesn't like to go outside, and so his mom buys him comic books and essentially makes deals with him that if he'll do certain things, she'll give him more comics. And so that's kind of how comics become a central focus of the movie. But from reading the comics, the guy kind of got people feel this way whether they read comics or not. But he was like, how do I fit in with the world? Like, where do I fit in? And so he started using the comics to help him think, or trying to figure that out. But over the course of the idea, he had the thought of, what if he doesn't say this in the movie, it's just kind of alluded to, but what if his disease is actually kind of like a superpower? Or like one of the X-Men's mutations. Like, it's not all mutants in X-Men have powers that are good. Like
like some powers, you just look like a fish man, but that's it.
Yeah. Or there was, in the Ultimate Marvel universe, there was a kid who woke up and like everyone in his town had just magically disappeared. It turns out his mutation caused all living things within a certain radius of him to just disintegrate.
Yeah, that's something.
So they send Wolverine to kill him because Wolverine won't be affected. Hopefully.
Yeah.
He ends up not being. But, so that's kind of the approach this character has. He's like, what if this disease that I have is actually more like a superpower? Just, a cursed superpower rather than a helpful one. And so that sets him on this quest. He gets this idea. Well, he sees his disease as a spectrum. He says, if I'm all the way on this end of the spectrum, what if there's someone else on the other end? Like, if I break super easy, what if there's someone who's unbreakable? Which I thought was a pretty interesting thought. Like, and I know it's a movie, but at the same time, it's like, that's not an unreasonable thought.
Yeah.
That tire was actually probably better where you had it the first time.
Alright.
Because if you stop and just look at the vehicle for a second, look at the spacing on the tires. Like, it's not going to be all the way back. You're going to kind of see it, but yep, right out there.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure about that.
And you've actually got the vehicle sitting so close to the horizon line that it kind of creates an odd angle for it, and that's one of the things I'm going to tweak when I start working on it.
Alright. In fact, you can get started right now.
Okay, I will take over. It also makes it easier when I'm working with my left hand to not have to start from scratch. So this kind of helps.
Glad I could be of assistance.
It's been, not every week is a good one when it comes to the left-hand work. I'm grateful to be better at it, but there's still times where it's like, why? Anyways, we've both got the Asperger's syndrome, and so one of the thoughts that popped in my mind was, well, could Asperger's syndrome be a superpower?
Well, I often think so, because to bring role-playing games into the analogy, I see it as unusual stat distribution, where most people, like, say, who are considered neurotypical by people who use those terms, have a typical stat distribution, where being like typical
Someone on a mental spectrum disorder?
Yes, someone who's not on a mental disorder. Yes. and then someone with a mental disorder kind of has well, it varies but between case by case, but essentially their stats are deducted from, like, say, strength and dexterity, well, and put more into intelligence, and maybe, yeah, probably just every other stat becomes a dumb stat except intelligence. Not to say there
I
are
feel like in
cases.
real life there'd be an extra stat called mental stability, and it I don't mean like maybe stability is not even the right word, but it maybe mental soundness, like the ability to think clear, and it varies
I
for
think,
everyone. But I feel like
yeah,
that's unfortunately gets becomes a dump stat.
yeah, I feel like in Dungeons and Dragons, that's what the wisdom stat is used for.
That's probably true.
Yeah, so it's like, so, but it's like the trade-off is by all the other stats being dumped for the intelligence stat. We tend to be socially awkward starting out, and not very charismatic. Don't initially see the virtue of physical health and fitness, but those, yeah. So hopefully that comes with time. It came, yeah. Me and you understand that, but there are cases where people just with our condition just don't get it when they need to, unfortunately.
Like I mean, with Asperger's, it's like you, for like anyone else, understanding comes with time.
Yeah.
But
But
one of the thoughts I had is like, what is the things that usually accompany Asperger's, like the memory, for example.
oh yes. It's like one of the things I'm good at is remembering what happens between game sessions of a role play game, so I don't need to take as many notes as a typical person.
No, I'm going to move this horizon line or the vanishing point up to about over here somewhere, I think. And this one, maybe about here-ish. That way I don't have to complete, because where it is kind of close. Tonight's one of those, I really miss my right hand drum. But it's, I used it too much for lifting things and well, specifically moving children around and things like that this week, and so it's not happy at the moment.
Yeah, that's sorry to hear that. Hopefully, when I'm in your neck of the woods, I can help out with that.
Well, it'll be definitely nice to have you here when the baby gets here. For those who don't know, my wife and I are expecting our fifth child.
Yay!
Let's see. I think I kind of want to use. I'm trying to take the vehicle you were thinking and kind of mix it with the vehicle I was thinking of.
Yeah, I guess in the game setting, this vehicle exists in custom vehicles. It's probably not just a thing, but a necessity, since they can't. Unlike here in the modern world, we can get the parts we need when we need them, or in a timely fashion. But in this world, you have to work with what you got, which results in unintentional custom jobs.
The hard part with the vehicle, well, this whole scene, is how long it takes to draw a vehicle.
Yeah.
That is like the one thing that makes me wish that I was using my right hand tonight, is the fact that it's a vehicle, because then I could actually feel like I'm making some progress on this thing.
Right.
Maybe what I'll do is when I get it roughed in, I'll have you go over with like an inking layer.
Oh yeah, I that I should be able to do that just fine. Most of my art that I do for self practice is just do a straight up inking layer over a 3D model. I don't bother with pencils. If it's a serious project, yeah, I pencil it in first, but for practicing I just go over a 3D model.
Let's see, this tire should extend more like this. I one warning I'm going to throw out for tonight. We might end up ending early. Unexpectedly, there's a storm going on outside.
Oh.
And so if it knocks the power out and I suddenly am gone and not coming back, that's why.
Yeah, and because he's the one hosting on his channel, it won't be a case of where he just disappears and I'm here by myself on the stream. The whole stream will die.
Yeah. So just throwing that out as a heads up. Let's see. How's the vehicle looking?
Looking good so far.
Sometimes I do circles and with my left hand it's like that one's not the right size. Let's go another one around. So it's not like I'm trying to make it swirly. It's just I'm trying to figure out how to make it the right size.
Yeah.
So when you're inking these, like this should just be a nice circle for this light. That one's a horrible spot.
Yeah, that's sort of input ahead of time definitely helps.
And then this should actually probably be down. Gosh. A little bit more like that.
So, talking about my channel content a bit here. For my solo RPG game, I've been looking over the next bit of content I need to do for it because I'm playing from published game material and learn how to play material at that. Well, I was looking through it because at the end of my last stream for that series, I noticed the material looked different, and between then and now I realized it essentially is treating you like you got to the point where you graduated, you're ready to run the game for a group by yourself now.
Oh.
Yeah,
So it's essentially like you're done. Get out and go get a job.
yes. It has the rest of the adventure there for you, but the dragon cards, as the help aids are called, are no longer getting me through the rest of the adventure. I have to. It's telling me now run the rest of the published adventure for the group yourself. But for solo playing, as I've been doing, I have to. That's not how I've been doing things. This is gonna be the first time where I have to start actually
Solo.
Well, it's been solo, but solo in the sense that
Solo running the game because you've had help aids.
yes. So I need to actually I do have a help aid that you actually showed me a couple weeks back that I think will help me out. I'll just need to look through it again.
Tiny
It
dungeon.
won't help me huh?
It's a tiny dungeon.
Not that one. But it's essentially on how to solo roleplay. And I think it has some help on how to run a published adventure, so I'll need to take a look at that.
I'm not sure where to put this back wheel. For that back wheel, just make it a black bump that looks like there's something in shadow all the way down there.
Alright, I'll do that. And so, So, for what is possibly the last session for this adventure I've been doing, it's going to be all okay. Well, it's going to be a lot more me than it has before, and I haven't been able to improv some story beats as much as I had been because of how hand holding the help aids had been. But I don't have that little restriction anymore for this next stream for a few days. So I'll have more of freedom to do stuff now.
So now when the chat's like, do this or do that, you'll have the
Yes,
freedom to actually consider those things.
exactly. Because last time our loyal subscriber Hollow Bell was like, Don't kill the dog, the wolf. Try and tame it." But that wasn't possible. So if we're in a situation like that again next time,
You'll have the
it's gonna
option.
be exactly.
I'm glad it will be possible now.
Yes. So I'm trying not to read too much ahead, but I also need to familiarize myself with it enough to run it well. But
Come
that
on.
is so I definitely have more prep work than I'm used to for this particular stream thing. For solo roleplay streams. Unless that other thing can tell me how to do it with little prep and just have the adventure on hand.
I wonder if you could just pull it off with an oracle table or something like that.
Possibly. It's like if I weren't using a published adventure, then an Oracle tool would help out a lot. But because I'm using a published adventure, that's I don't know how much an Oracle tool will be able to help.
This
But I'm
vehicle is
confident.
not turning out very well. I mean, if you think it'll work okay, then I'll say it'll work okay. It just there's some things about it really bothering me.
Ah,
But we are limited on time, so we're gonna have to make it work.
all right, now start making it work right now.
I'm not done just yet. I'm actually erasing part of it because I
Okay,
want to redo the back tire. If you want to start inking the front, though, I guess you could do that.
that's what I was doing.
I know the stream was kind of we didn't do the best job advertising it, so we might have a
Yeah, I've
pretty
been
sparse
yeah, I've been meaning to advertise it for days on my channel, but uh, the life had just been real busy, and the current event in Fate Grand Order is real time consuming. So I've been trying to put as much time into it as I can to finish it before the event's over.
Let's see this. Well, we're doing the stream. We will do our best with the stream. I don't think I'm going to get this back tire position quite right. Let's see. I think that'll work for a vehicle. What I think I will do after you're done inking it is I'm going to enlarge it to take up more of the composition.
That sounds good.
It feels really tiny.
I can see that.
Gonna ingest some chocolate while you're taking a turn. But anyways, I think you will really like the Unbreakable movie.
Either tonight or tomorrow I'll try and watch it.
Well, I don't know how late you plan on staying up tonight, but I have work to do after this.
Yeah. That's how it goes at times. Yeah. And even if I don't watch it tonight, tomorrow then I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, tomorrow I should be able to finish the FGO event because I got to the last main mission of the event before this stream started. And I would have finished tonight if not for this stream, so point being I should be able to finish it real quickly tomorrow and I should have a lot of free time afterwards to watch it.
I don't think you're quite understanding what's going on with the tire right there.
Yeah, it feels like part of it's here, but it also feels like there's an empty space between the tire.
Erase that real quick, and I will see if I can add some additional marks to help it make more sense. Okay, so what happened, stop there, is you simply misread the front length of the tire. This kind of comes down around like this. It's a wider tire.
Yeah, there was kind of a break there that caused a disconnect.
And then this is the front portion of the tire over here. So something like that. And then this is going to be the central section about right there. Yeah, that feels better. And you're inking with that big black brush tonight. You can just fill that whole undersection in with black.
Okay.
When I scribble things in like that on under areas, that's usually what I mean. It's just filled in.
Okay.
The tire though would have texture on it, but yeah, that's just fine for scribbling in there. That works.
And speaking of the big lines, I just remembered that one wasn't supposed to be there. It was supposed to start big and get thin as it goes.
There you go. Feels a lot better.
Yeah.
How's that tablet working for you? The canvas display, is it still pretty good?
Yeah, it's still pretty good. I'm enjoying it.
Good. I'm glad. I have that Wacom 1 display I got myself. Guess where it spends most of its time?
Where? Under your desk?
Yep, plugged in under my desk. And I instead have my Intuos tablet just sitting on my lap. I just really like the drawing experience on the Intuos. It's nicer than the drawing experience on the Wacom 1 for me.
I see.
And the part of the reason for that is the Wacom 1, I mean, yeah, it's a display, but it's also an entry-level drawing tablet, and it doesn't have the same drawing experience. Like I didn't realize how I'd gotten so used to using the Intuos, and it just feels, I guess, less accurate using the Wacom one. It's still really accurate. It's just every now and then it'll be something. It's like, why doesn't this feel right? And I'll pull out the Intuos and make a mark, and it'll be like, that's what it was supposed to feel like.
I see.
One of my favorite parts from the Unbreakable movie is the music. It's that kind of music that just pulls you into the movie.
I'm glad. It's always good when a movie is more than visual flair.
Well, I'll say that movie doesn't have very much visual flair to it. It's actually, comparatively speaking, it's not a it's nothing like a Marvel superhero movie or anything like that. It's very minimal.
I was
visually.
expecting that when I saw the year it came out in.
Even the newer ones aren't super crazy. Like the latest one in the trilogy called Glass, I saw some clips from that one, and it isn't like super overboard as well. And Samuel L. Jackson does his part just really well.
Yeah, there's a reason he's highly valued in the industry.
So try to make that door, the lines on them, a little bit more parallel with the door next to it.
Okay.
Because you can see how it's kind of veering away at the bottom. The top lines were fine. It's just that straight line going down the middle is not straight.
Oh.
It should kind of follow the same, yep, there you go, same form as the other door. Looks like I gained a subscriber recently. I'm up to 389.
Nice. I got one subscriber in last week, I think.
It's a good feeling. Thank you to everyone who subscribes.
Yes. We appreciate each of your subscriptions.
I was thinking maybe what I would do next with my channel is that radio show I've been thinking about doing.
How about you explain to the viewing audience what this show entails?
So I've got some books and stuff I started. Wow, that came out wrong. Some books and stuff that I started, but I wasn't sure what kind of format I wanted to present them in. And so I had the thought, what if I just did them like a radio show here on the YouTube channel? I could draw a piece of art or something to go with as a background that had something to do with the content of the episode. But otherwise, I would just upload individual chapters as episodes for the radio show. So before you start drawing people in it, let's stop for a second, and I am going to resize, which is the ink layer. I'm going to resize this inked layer. So yeah, I'm going to start doing radio shows on here.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Play the shape of this vehicle a little bit. Kind of like it like that. Okay. Maybe I need to hit enter or something. No, it saved it that time. Dumb thing. Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. Where'd it go? Is it gone for you as well?
No, it's just a little up and to the left.
It has completely disappeared for me.
Did you click the layer?
I'm not sure. Yeah, it's just gone. Like the inked layer.
Yeah, it's still here for me though.
Would you move it to the center?
Okay.
I just have a white canvas and I'm on the inked layer. This is weird. Okay, I can. Thank you.
Maybe maybe it's not sized right. I mean, maybe you're zoomed in too much.
I hit enter and it just completely distorted it again. Did it distort it for you that time?
Yeah, it just made it bigger and the edges were cut off.
What in the world?
Now it's lower. Maybe I should resize it.
Maybe actually before you resize it, recenter it, and I'm gonna duplicate the layer.
Okay.
Well, we've never had this issue with draw pile before, but goes to show you it doesn't always work perfect. But you can still otherwise see it okay?
Yes, I just centered it.
Wow, I'm only seeing like half of it. No, not even half of it. I see like the top lights and that's it. Yeah, there it goes. You know what? Let's just leave it right there.
All right.
Or maybe, I don't even know what to do anymore. Duplicate layer. I'm going to call this car. Okay, one more time. I think it took that time. Yep, turn off layer 2 and leave on the car layer, and that'll be our car layer.
Okay.
Okay, well that wasn't perfect, but hey. We've got the car layer. We can keep going.
Okay.
I made myself a layer 3 to work on. Using Stable Fusion today, and so Joseph and I are going to be playing in a Pathfinder 2nd Edition game tomorrow night, and I didn't feel like drawing up a character, so I used Stable Diffusion for a little while earlier to try and come up with something. Came up with a decent result, but the downside to using Stable Diffusion is I never feel satisfied after creating something with it. It was cool, but it's like I much would have just rather drawn that myself.
Yeah, I hear ya.
So I'm going to draw my own version of the character later, I think.
Yeah, as cool as my results were, because I decided to use it too, I didn't find any that were satisfactory, so I'm just gonna use them as inspiration to draw one eventually.
Man, your guy's sticking way far out that door.
Yeah, he really wants to enjoy his ride.
I find it funny that you draw that mask on him because, like, when we're playing, I don't even imagine him wearing a mask.
Well, he's wearing it on his game piece.
He is, but, like, even when you drew the game piece for that drawing, I was like, oh, I hadn't even thought about that because, in my mind, the uniforms don't look anything like that would have those masks.
Yeah. Yeah. Before that night, the only thing I had for any kind of reference for the uniform was an AI art you gave me. I mean, not gave me. You showed me to try and come up with some ideas for the armor, and most of them were helmeted.
Yeah, I had so much trouble trying to get that thing to stop doing that with the helmets.
Yeah, I have not. I don't recall ever seeing any unhelmeted ones.
The game piece I was using didn't have a helmet. Are you
Is that
talking
AI
about?
generated?
No, I guess you're talking specifically about the AI.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah. I think my guy's just going to be kind of sleeping in the back. I think our other brother, the one who doesn't spend all his time on the, maybe he does, the one who is not a programmer would also enjoy the Unbreakable movie.
Yeah. I guess we could I could watch that with him. Speaking of the brother who does programming, he set himself up a coffee.
A coffee?
It's kind of like a donation slash tip thing. A lot of YouTubers use it.
Got it.
So, as of tonight, people can give him money.
Well, that'll be good. Hopefully he's making a little something from it.
Yeah. I helped him set it up right before the stream started. So it'll be some time before we see something come of it.
I mean, he's got quite a following as it is.
Right.
I guess he still has to figure out, like, how would he tell people, hey, I've got a thing.
Yeah.
But I feel like a lot of the people he programs with and for are people trying to spend money not on things anyways.
I guess that's true.
I've got several more pages in my little book thing that I'm working on. For those who don't know, I started working on like a little, it's like a historian journaling and kind of making notes from other records he's come across that lives in this world that we're using for Zealot Core.
Oh yeah, it was me. Yeah, you showed me some, and I was meaning to ask, is it supposed to be compiled by Seralis or some other character?
By some other characters. Seralis is just one of the names in it.
Got it.
Speaking of which, I wrote this name wrong in this spot. Where is my pen so I can fix that? Because it's bothering me.
I don't know who that is.
Apparently, if I don't fix this, I'm going to have both Seralis and another character named Ceralis. And I don't exactly want both Seralis and Ceralis, especially since they live so close in time period to one another. Seralis. There we go. It's spelled right there. Did you want me to... So, Maralus is the name of the historian.
So he's compiling accounts from different people, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Do you want me to read the entry I wrote for this guy?
Sure, go ahead.
It says, "My name is Maralus. I am a historian. After writing the false king's note to himself, I saw it fit that I should tell you about myself." On the previous page, I had written something from the Red King. "I live after the time of the Red King. I am a descendant of the nameless warrior, whose name I will not now reveal. My line is sworn to the declaring and writing of truths. My ancestor was not born of this world, or of the Red King's. There is a multitude of worlds that do exist in parallel with one another. It is said a witch summoned him from one such, and he began his war with the demon of Tartarus. But the demon was desperate." So this is a bit of a spoiler for one of the stories I'm working on within Tartarus. "Somehow he acquired the means to go backwards in time. A one-time, one-way trip. And so the demon did so before my ancestor had entered the picture. There, in the past, his demonic power went unchallenged. So rose the Red King, to rule as he saw fit. He threw down Tartarus of the past and built his kingdom on its ashes. But my ancestor was not of the world, and so time could not rewrite him. He stood still as all around him the world warped and twisted, as reality reshaped itself to reflect the changes the Red King, the demon, had caused to happen by traveling to the past. My ancestor's heart broke, as again his world was torn away from him. But his path was set. The realm of the Red King would fall. I, Maralus, write this now many hundred years after that fall. Even still the taint of the Red King is felt. As I write this, mankind prepares to travel the stars. One of the first voyages will be by the last surviving people who still believe in the Red King's ways. They have crowned a new king, a direct descendant of the Red King. He shall be known as the Star King. I make mention of this so you may know from whence they came. But I turn my eyes to the past. The demon and all he caused must not be forgotten, and so I devote myself to the study of the past. This volume is an abridgment of notes I have made and records I have found. May they be a source of light and truth for those who seek the freedom of correct understanding. I pray you accept my words, aware of the sincerity I write with, to free your mind of the shackles of oppression. May you never forget the doom brought by the Red King. May you never forget that precious freedom bought with so much blood, and may you never tread away from the true path of light. Maralus, descendant of the nameless warrior, true disciple of the Celestials."
Interesting.
So, since there's no books or lore or anything, the challenge with this channel is because one of the things I'm doing with this channel is working on the lore as I go. So people who want to avoid spoilers are going to have to decide what they want to watch and what not, and
or when to watch it.
Yeah, maybe I'll put a note like lore spoilers in the title or something like that. After the video's over, I'll add major lore spoilers.
Yeah, there are definitely gonna be learning curves for how to handle the lore.
What was it I sent you? It was the one with the guy sitting on the chair, right?
Yes.
It's interesting to compare No, that was Marilys.
Yes.
Because I've got like one of the quotes of the Master of Arms, whose name was Maris. And his comment is, "We do not know from whence he first appeared. He had nothing, no sword, no armor, no name. But in him was carried power unlike anything any in Tartarus had ever beheld. By him, through power, were the criminals put down, were the intelligent given purpose, the obedient were raised up and guided in their endeavors. Himself he crowned king, and none who dared to question his doing so did he permit to live. The Red King reigned supreme." So that's like from the early days of the Red King, before he would have been confined to the throne. But I'm having a lot of fun coming up with the lore for this world.
Yeah. I'm definitely hope to do some more building on my channels, on both of them actually. And
I like Cerulys's the way he's looking at your character.
yeah,
I'm going to see if I can ink Cerulys. Tonight's stream's it's a little different with me just like reading some things while you're doodling.
yeah. It
It's-
has been a different drawing experience from the other times we've done it.
But it's been fun to kind of like share some notes about what I'm working on.
Yeah. And who knows what'll change between now and then when
That-
you
That is
put
one.
up.
So that's one thought I had, is like they're major lore stories now, but the lore is a work in progress. So who knows how the lore is going to change?
Right. Could you put layer 5 underneath the owner people layer 2?
There you go.
Thank you. Yeah, about draw pile, the guest cannot move layers.
That's weird. I don't think I've ever been a guest with draw pile.
Yeah, now that you mention it, I don't think you have.
I kind of like drawing characters that aren't like up close sometimes, because instead of putting like a ton of details in their eyes and things like that, I'll simplify it so I can focus more on the expressions.
And you're very good at that, too.
Oh, thank you. I feel like my expressions are actually better on characters from a distance than when they're up close, which is a little sad.
Just means you have plenty of work still ahead of you.
Yeah, but it also means I can communicate the expressions, so I just got to figure out how to bridge that gap. I'm kind of going for like an annoyed expression over here.
And just so you know, if you go back to watch the stream this scene's inspired from, you will not see a woohoo scene. This because we just did, they drove for a while before they found something.
This is lore building.
Yes, exactly. We're lore building on top of a game we've already finished, as far as where this scene comes from, that is.
Funny enough, I said this is lore building, and all I heard was like Anakin. Now this is pod racing. So now this is lore building. think Seralis had a hood on with the mini, so I think I'll try to keep.
Yeah, he had a hood on in
I put. I had taken the Intuos 2 cover off of my Intuos Pro because I really liked the texture on it, but it was burning through my nibs so fast that I put this thing back on. They made a gritty texture on a lot of the newer tablets, and it just, you burn through your nibs so fast. Like I changed my Intuos Pro nib, not Intuos Pro, Intuos 2 nib like once in the whole time I had it, and I had it for years.
nice.
But I had to replace my Intuos Pro one like just within a few weeks, and so I was like, this is not good.
Yeah.
I just saw my marks moving over here, and I saw yours moving over there out of the corner of my eye, and it's like, man, it almost feels like we're ants just working back and forth across this image.
Yeah, I can see how you would feel that way. Wonder if I have if I can bring on my end bring up the yes I can. It's right here.
What were you trying to bring up?
Okay. Just a picture of what I'm drawing.
One thing I would like to see you do more in the future is more faces, because
Oh yeah,
a lot of time when we do these streams, the people you draw have helmets on, and I think it'd be good for you to get more face practice.
oh yes, I do want to draw faces. Yeah, so I'm trying to think. Yeah, if we had drawn one of the other scenes, I might have drawn one of the bandits' faces.
Are you planning to put another helmet on the character you're creating for Pathfinder?
Oh yeah, he's in his character bio. He's wearing a mask, but he's not religious about keeping it on. It's only when he's doing his work does he wear it. He sees it more like a work uniform than
So like,
way
cause he's like a bounty hunter or something like that.
yes,
So it's more to like he doesn't want his victims to see his face because they might look for him later, or his targets, I should say.
right. That's more how it is. But when he's like at the pub or something, he's gonna not be wearing it.
Okay. Now to color this guy back here. Not color him. Yeah. I like how Seralis turned out.
Yeah, me too. I was not expecting my guy to be having so much fun in this piece, but I'm liking how it came out.
I was kind of expecting yours to have like a good amount of fun the way you kept talking about like road trip.
Yeah, I guess there was no way it could have been otherwise.
You seemed really enthused by the idea of them having a nice road trip.
Yeah, it's like when you describe what their lives like in the Red King's army, it's like, do they even have vacation time?
Actually,
So,
they do. Yes, the Red King, like, don't confuse him with like your traditional grim dark ruler. He is actually fairly benevolent. He tries to take really good care of his people because he's discovered that they will serve him better.
oh yes, I remember now. I guess I'm just not exposed to the lore often enough for me to really register that fact.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's interesting because the Red King, he is benevolent to those who are obedient, and those who serve him well. He is not one. He's also not like extremely unforgiving in a lot of situations. Like if you screw up doing your job, he's not going to suddenly be like, "You're dead." He will kill you though if you like refuse to adhere to his practices and he perceives you to be a problem. Uh, Welcome to Hollow You Bell. Glad you could join us.
Oh yeah, hey, I'm glad you're here.
We are drawing the road trip scene from the last session we had.
Yeah, my character is really enjoying his road trip.
My
But
character
yeah,
is taking a nap in the back seat.
yeah, but yeah, we were talking about why he was enjoying it so much, and he just feels like between all the combat they're doing, just an excuse to have an assignment that isn't combat or attacking a settlement or what have you is a very welcome change.
I will say the soldiers see a lot of action because the Red King is very aggressive, taking over new territories. He sees it as his duty to help people find a better way of life, as he would say.
Right.
It'll be fun to start exploring like the free peoples.
Yeah. That will. Yeah. We bet the closest thing we saw to free peoples last time were bandits.
I mean, there was the city we attacked in the first session.
I don't think we actually saw people. The closest thing we saw
Was it the
was
robot?
their robot.
You're
Yes.
right. So that would have been a normal city. Um, yeah, the bandits definitely are. These are definitely bandits. Um, if we keep going with this session, we will definitely run into some of the free peoples.
Yeah. Having told me what you told me about the direction of this campaign, it's definitely going to be quite something as we go through it.
One of my goals is to, over the next few sessions, to really start digging into the conflict between the Red Kingdom and the Free Peoples.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing how this shapes up. And because Hollow You Bell is just joining us out now, I will recap what I mentioned about my RPG stream, which is I got into a part where where the where the learning to draw game is like We've taught you everything you need to know. You can run the rest of the adventure by yourself without reading the read-along stuff.
So the dragon cards
Also,
are essentially done. Hey, you guys got a Pokeball.
no, that's his cape.
Looks like a Pokeball.
But yeah, the dragon cards are essentially done. So it's gonna be but there is still a written module for that last part of the adventure. I just need to interpret that my way now. So next time there's gonna be more freedom in the storytelling.
Every time someone says "my way," all I can hear is Limp Bizkit, "My way" or "the highway."
I hear Frank Sinatra when I hear.
And I did it my way.
Exactly.
And I haven't thought of Limp Bizkit in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, Holly Bell agrees with me.
Would the capes be red on the inside or just the outside?
They'd be black on the inside and... No, actually, no, let me think about it. They could be white on the inside and red on the outside, or black on the inside and red on the outside. Depends on how the interior's dyed.
Got it.
But it's also furry on the outside. Like, it's a thick fur cape on the outside. So you could,
Right,
instead of
that's
having...
where the white is for.
Well, I'm saying it's like red fur.
Oh.
So the top part, instead of being perfectly smooth like a Pokeball, you could have like little blades of fur kind of going up and things.
Yeah, like them. Wait. Oh, I'm still on the erased one. And wrong color, apparently.
But yeah, I saw it and I was like, that is a Pokeball if I ever saw one.
And wrong drawing tool. Sheesh.
And wrong universe. There ain't gonna be no Voltorbs on this trip.
Whether that's a bad thing or a good thing, we'll leave up to the viewer's opinion.
I really like how Sorales turned out, actually.
Yeah, it's yeah, it's really amusing.
I'm going to try to add some interior for the vehicle over here on this side of him. Mine looks more like a comic book illustration, and yours looks more like a something out of an animation.
Yeah, I guess it does have that look to it.
It's not bad. It's just stuck out to me.
Right. That's a part of what makes our our drawing collaborations fun. You can easily tell who drew what part of the piece.
You really can. Okay, how's the interior of the vehicle looking around Sorales?
It looks pretty good.
Okay,
I see little wrong with it, if any wrong. I wouldn't be able to tell you what's wrong.
I can see a
there
couple
is-
things, but I think it'll work.
Right.
Maybe I'll put like a little bit of cracked glass or something here in the front.
Yeah, because finding pristine glass in this world, I doubt, is an easy thing to come across.
I mean, it's not too hard.
Yeah, well, probably among the lower class, I would assume it's hard.
Or for the runaways, like Sorales.
Well, that's a spoiler.
I mean, not too much. I mean, he's dude's talking about heretical stuff, and so we were told to investigate him, and your character already knows based on some of the stuff that he's been telling us. If we had some guys around who were capable of making authoritative decisions, they probably would have just shot him. We do not have that authority.
Ah.
Our characters are just, we're grunts, we're foot soldiers, we're peons.
Yeah. We're the first ones sent out to die.
Yep. If this were an RTS, we'd be building buildings instead of actually fighting. That tire's not in the right place. I need to move that. No, I'm just not even going to worry about it. I think we can get away without having that fourth tire visible.
All right.
I'm trying to figure out what to draw outside the vehicle now. I kind of like drawing the landscapey stuff at the moment because who cares if my left hand doesn't draw as good as my right hand for that? Like, a rock is a rock. As long as it looks convincing, I don't need it to look perfect. Same with a tree. But it's also a good chance to practice, like, relaxing my hand when I'm drawing.
Right.
Is anyone watching or like Hollow Ubel? Have you seen the Unbreakable movies? There's like Unbreakable, and then there's Split, and then there's the last one called Glass. We were talking about those a little earlier. Gonna have Joseph watch the first one when he gets a chance.
Yeah. Then we can talk about it in earnest next time we're streaming together. And it's not a roleplay stream. Or if it is a roleplay stream, it'll be during the drawing portion. Assuming we have time for the drawing portion that time.
I liked it. I thought it was a good movie. Hollow Ubel says he's seen it. I really liked the premise. As someone who's kind of wanted to draw comics his whole life, there's a lot that resonated with it. If only comics paid more out the gate.
I hear ya.
I haven't seen the two after that as well. I saw the first one last night for the first time. But I got the trilogy, and so I'm planning to watch the next one when we're done streaming. Holly Bell says he's only seen the first one.
Yeah. A little interesting trivia I found out about Split. It was actually quite surprising when people first saw the movie because they didn't know it was a sequel to another movie until the post-credits scene.
Yeah, there's a reveal that was surprising for people.
So It was like, wait, this is a sequel to that movie?
I was watching some clips from it on YouTube, and people in the comments were like, I literally got up and gasped. Um, and one person was like, he met his wife, um, like they're tying the knot, and whenever he made the comment, they were like a couple weeks away from actually getting married. But he says he and his wife were sitting close enough to each other or something like that, and they both got up and gasped at the same time and then just looked at each other.
Talk about no, like evidence as to it's meant to be, they're meant to be together.
Yeah, so they said they just started talking afterwards, and one thing led to another, and here they are now.
So yeah,
Always funny how life works out.
yeah, indeed. Oh yeah, that's just shows people would not have known otherwise if they either didn't sit through the credits or if someone hadn't told them.
I knew about Split, but I had no idea the other two movies existed. And Split by itself didn't seem all that interesting because I don't typically like horror movies. But
Oh yeah,
because that one was presented as more of a horror movie, and but now that I know it's related to the others, I kind of want to watch the whole trilogy and just kind of take the whole thing in.
yeah. I definitely when I first saw the trailers, I was definitely yeah, it's just your typical horror movie, whatnot. And then it was like maybe a few years later that when I found out it was a sequel. And yes, it is definitely a unique way to meet your significant other.
It really is. Met my wife the more old-fashioned way. Walked in, thought she was pretty, came back to get to know her.
Yeah.
All right, I have a tree. Is it a pretty tree? No. Does it do the job? Yes. Every time I see the lightning go off outside and it gets like bright for a second, I'm like, please don't shut off the power. Please don't shut off the power.
Yeah, that's something I have experienced in years come living in the part of living where I'm living now, but it'll be interesting to go through that again once I'm down that you're in your neck of the woods.
It rains so much over here. Like I think this is like the third or fourth time it's rained just this week.
It's actually been raining over here. We've
Well,
had at least once. It snowed at least once this past weekend. Today and one other day, I think it's rained.
that's good because you guys really need the rain out there.
Yeah, and we needed the snow too because but we retain more water throughout the year when it snows heavy during the winter.
Yeah, here we just get rain all the time.
Yeah.
Funky trees, funky trees. I draw a lot of funky trees.
Yet there's no disco ball for them to dance to.
Wrong kind of funky.
Hmm.
Need more groove for that kind of funky.
Yeah.
So since Holly Bell wasn't here earlier, I'm gonna start doing a radio show on my YouTube channel in the near future. So what I have books that I have been working on off and on for a few years, but I don't know, I just releasing them like a book was not the form. It just didn't seem like the right format. And so I thought, what if I take the chapters and I'll just read them myself and treat them like a radio show? Or I was planning to call it like campfire stories or something like that. But it's meant to be kind of an informal setting where am just sharing stories.
Yeah. I'm definitely looking forward to the first one whenever that one happens.
I'm just trying to decide which one to start with because, like, before I do all the so I've got a story I've been working about Peter Pan's brother, but Peter Pan is not perfectly out of copyright all over the place. And so before I do that one, I want to at least make sure that that one's okay. But I've got another one that I've been wanting to do something with for a long time called Alchemic Blue.
Oh, Alchemic Blue! Now you've got me excited.
And I was thinking I might start with that.
Yeah. Yeah. For those of you who do not know, Alchemic Blue is one of his oldest stories he's had in the back burner, and I've been one of the few privileged to actually read one of the early drafts of it, and I've been wanting more for years now. Since his firstborn was still a newborn, actually.
Yeah, and he's turning 9 this year.
So I've been waiting a long time.
So I'm going to radio show the content that I do have for that, and then I'm going to start moving on to hopefully some new content for it. But I'm really hoping that it'll work well as a radio show. I think it will.
Yeah, we are. I was excited already, but now I'm ecstatic.
Well, I'm glad. I didn't realize you were going to be that excited when I announced that that's what I was going to be doing.
Well, like we said, I've been waiting.
Well, I didn't realize you were like that like you had enjoyed it that much.
Yes, I had. It's like the cliffhanger of that original draft. It hurt. Like it really hurt. I was like, but what happens? Did he did he did he do this? Did he get to do this thing? It's like when are you gonna finish it? And it was during a busy time of your life, so it's like.
So I tried to get it published, and publishers even a couple of them even like I enjoyed what I was reading, but we can't do this because there's vampires in it, and so
Oh yes,
and so
that was
that's the other reason I've decided to do a radio show, because like it doesn't matter what publishers think. Let me just tell the story the way I was gonna tell it.
yeah, because back when he first did the story, Twilight was big, and the movies were still being put out, so
Uh,
people at the time felt like vampires were just
Saturating the
everywhere.
market, and,
Exactly.
but
So it was a good story that came about during a poor time
and
for it.
no offense to Stephanie Meyer, but my vampires do not sparkle.
It's like I prefer my vampires not to sparkle.
I as well prefer mine not to sparkle, and they don't.
Yes. Yeah. I more enjoy like classic stuff, like Dracula. Yes, it was rough timing.
Yeah. So, it was kind of disheartening, and I just kind of threw it in the back burner and started working on other projects. But I just had the thought, why not just do it as a radio show?
Yeah. Yeah, and you still have the Alchemic Blue Facebook page you can make use of.
That's true. I hadn't even thought about that.
Yeah, it's one of the few. It's like I think you gave me some privileges, so when I log on to Facebook, it's one of the three things it asks me. What do I want to log into?
Yeah. I also prefer the classic sunlight equals turn vampires to dust response to Holly Bell.
A little trivia on that. That particular weakness of vampires didn't come out about until the movie Nosferatu from the 1920s. That was the movie that that
Kind of solidified
pioneered
that
the,
idea.
yes, it hadn't been done in vampire stories before then. Like the only connection vampires had to being away from sunlight is they sleep during the day. That was the only thing that that you could that in relation to them to the sun during before that movie.
Whoever had the idea to add them, like, essentially being deathly allergic to the sun, I think it was a great idea for them to have.
Yeah, the writer of the one who wrote Nosferatu. That's who you have to thank for it. A German black and white movie that's in the public domain.
Well, I'll
The
have to
silent.
check it out.
Oh yeah, when
That's
I
based
first
off.
saw
Is
that
that
movie,
based off of a book, or is it just
it
the
was
movie?
based off Dracula.
Okay.
Yeah, another fun fact, when the movie first came out, Dracula was not in the public domain at the time, and all copies of the movie were ordered to be destroyed because they lost the legal battle. But somehow, at least one copy of the movie survived, and that's why we still have it to this day. And it is a big part of pop culture now.
Some people just get so carried away with copyright stuff. Like, I get it. You wanting to protect your own IPs, but
Yeah. I think it was Bram Stoker's widow, if she was still alive at the time, who was enforcing it.
well, it's probably good for everyone who loves vampires that things turned out the way that they did.
Yes.
You want to draw
I
some
saw that-
background?
Yeah. What?
You want to draw some background?
Oh, sure. I'm just struggling with what should I put in the background?
You want to put like some rubble for some city that's falling apart in the distance?
Oh, wrong color. Sure.
I can throw some just lines down for you to make use of, pointing towards roughly where the vanishing point would be with the rescaled vehicle.
Okay, that'll help. Have we seen the Dracula the Untold? Oh, yes. That is one of my favorite interpretations of Dracula, because at the time I first saw it, and what kept me from watching Dracula Untold for a while was, I thought, oh, this is just another one of those overly sexualized interpretations of Dracula. It's like, I don't mind Dracula being attractive, it's just, he's a vampire. His thing is sucking blood. Seduction is a part of how he gets his prey, yes, but I don't go to watch a Dracula movie to watch him sleep with me. So, I was really pleasantly surprised when I first saw Dracula Untold. It instantly became one of my all-time favorite vampire movies by the end.
Well, sounds like I need to check it out.
Yeah, I'll just warn you ahead of time. It is disappointing because it ends with a cliffhanger that never gets resolved.
Well, good to know. I will go in expecting a fun time and unresolvedness. All right, there's some stuff for you to start using.
Okay. Yeah. It's like it leaves you wanting more, but knowing there's not gonna be more, it's yeah.
Well, I will look forward to it because you guys both seem really excited about it, and I saw a couple clips for it, and the clips looked good.
Yeah, I've actually coincidentally I was actually man, I can't think. I was actually having a hankering to watch it again lately. I think I'll watch it not long after I watch Glass. Not Glass, Unbreakable.
I mean, you could watch it after you watch Glass. You'll just have to go through, 3 movies to get there.
Right.
I think maybe what I'll do is I'll plan to pick the Dracula Untold Story up as my next month movie.
Yeah, you'll just need to make the relevant changes in order and take advantage of Dracula being in the public domain.
For what?
Oh, I was confused. Go ahead.
I'm talking about buying the movie next month.
Oh, yeah, because you buy a movie each month. Got it.
Yeah, and so no, I'm hoping to start doing Alchemic Blue in the near future.
Right, right.
I'll figure out whatever I need to around Peter Pan.
Right. I think the best thing to do is to buy a copy of the officially published public domain script for the original play.
Yeah, and so I think what I need to do is get familiar with whatever's in that, because I feel like a lot of the copyrighted material you could get hit for is sorry, that was my alarm if anyone heard that. But I think the Lost Boys and Peter Pan and Captain Hook are all in the original play, but it's like Tiger Lily and other things. Like, at what point am I hitting material that is copyrighted and I'd get in trouble for?
Yeah. So yeah, definitely sticking to that original play is going to be the best approach.
But the other thought I had is if I do it as a radio show, I'm less likely to get in trouble, especially if I don't know, I just don't monetize it.
Yeah.
And there's no visual representations of the character. And my Tinkerbell is definitely nothing like Disney's Tinkerbell.
You mean the old one? Oh, I guess both. Yeah.
Yeah, any of them.
Okay.
She is not a blonde pixie in a green dress.
Right.
In fact, I think my Tinkerbell has brown hair. And now I don't remember.
Still fits.
But she wears a brown dress.
Again, still fits.
Still fits what?
Still fits the world.
Yeah. And my Tinkerbell, actually, no, that's probably more stories. So I'll just spoilers. So I won't get into that one.
Yeah.
But my hope is that by focusing on Peter Pan's brother more than Peter Pan himself, that'll help with things like copyright issues.
Yes, seeing as how he's an original creation.
Yeah. So there's 2 stories, and then I'm not sure what to do because, like, Alchemic Blue would keep me busy for a long time. Because I still have like 3 more books to write for that one.
Yeah. And I know, plus you were trying to write an in-between story because there's a time gap between the first and second one.
Yes, there's a time gap between the first and second book, and I really liked one of the characters. I mean, I like both the characters, but I really like one of the characters that you get to know in the first book, and so I wanted to write a story about what happened to him in the meantime.
Yeah, I was actually helping him write it, but I don't think it got very far.
No, but I should still have everything we did somewhere.
That'll be good.
But yeah. So radio show coming in the near future.
Something else coming in the near future, which I'm hoping to announce when I wrap up the Akihabara explosion event in FGO, is something I'll be streaming on Wednesdays on the gaming channel. So it'll be a new video game I'll be streaming.
Does it have to do with what I got you with the latest Steam sale?
It does, yes. I'm gonna officially say what when I on the stream I finished the FGO event. Like, that's how I will end the stream, is probably showing an official trailer of the game.
Mm-hmm. That's a good idea. So that line that you just did is pointing the wrong direction. The one at the very top of the building.
Ah,
No, so those are both fine. It's the little one.
this one?
Yes. That one should be pointing at the other vanishing point.
Got it.
There you go.
Got it.
I keep thinking about streaming some more like gameplay, but I've been enjoying the role-playing stuff we've been doing lately, so I kind of want to stick with that for now.
Yeah, it's easy. It's been very enjoyable as a player in it. What you could do is just record gameplay and post it as its own thing rather than stream it.
I could. I'm playing through Skyward Sword for the first time, Zelda.
Oh yeah, how was that?
Good. I decided to let the boys watch me. My sons like to watch me play games. So they watched me play about half of Link's Awakening, and then they're like, "Dad, play another Zelda game. Play another Zelda game." It's like, I really don't want to like replay another one. So I did start Breath of the Wild because I had that one. I was like, screw it, I'm just going to order Skyward Sword.
Yeah. I know I let them watch me play the ending of Pokemon Scarlet when I was over there.
You remembering to point those floors at Vanishing Point?
No.
They will work okay like that. They kind of almost look like barriers, but yeah, you want to remember in the future to point those at least at one of the vanishing points.
Right.
Yeah, they really liked watching you play Scarlet. I will have you know they're very eager for you to come back.
Yeah, it'll be good to see them again.
They're always asking, when are you moving back?
Yeah, I think yesterday I was packing up some stuff. The room I'm in right now, there's hardly any leg room to walk around because it's just a lot of stuff getting packed.
Did you have a chance to look at the pirate ship stuff? Or, yeah.
Pirate ship?
Not like a pirate ship, but the pirate shipping.
Oh yes, I haven't had a chance to look at it, but it is on. I do have it saved. Yeah, we are hoping to. Yes, I will be doing more of looking into that once I have more stuff packed.
So let's see, Monday. What do you think? Monday, should we just do another round of Zealot Core playtest, or should we play something else? Because I haven't gone over the notes for how I want to make adjustments to the playtest just yet.
I think, with that in mind, I think we should play a video game come Monday instead.
Okay. The other thought I was going to throw out is we could do. Actually, no, let's do a video game, because it's going to be a role-playing full weekend.
Yes. It's like, I'm excited for the weekend.
Yeah, so tomorrow night we're joining in a Pathfinder 2nd Edition campaign with one of my friends. And then Saturday, Joseph is running a session for my brother-in-law and myself using just 5th Edition D&D. And so by Monday, I think it'll be nice to play a video game.
Yes. And a fun fact about the game I run for Sam here and our brother-in-law, it is actually canonical to the story of ChanceIchio, the character whose story I'm hoping to tell more of on my YouTube channels. And I'm hoping to tell the story of our game via Tabletop Simulator.
I like using Tabletop Simulator.
Yeah. As I've been using it on stream, I realized, huh, I could actually use this as a means of storytelling.
And you'll get to see what the Forge is like as well tomorrow night, because Ben's using that.
Right, I did see that on the email.
I guess it's more Foundry Virtual Tabletop, but the the platform I think they call it once you boot it up is called the Forge, or something like that. I'm not entirely sure. I'm still getting used to the terms. Foundry Virtual Tabletop. That's what we'll be using tomorrow night.
Got it. I'm very excited. I think this is the first dark adventure I'm ever gonna be playing. I've played a Vengeance Oath Paladin in 5th edition, and I've played a half-orc who hated his own heritage, but I've never outright played someone who's all about vengeance before.
And I usually play darker characters, so I'm playing a knowledge-based character who just likes learning and is kind of. I'm essentially playing a character who's a nerd and a geek for spellcasting history, and he is pretty much an alchemist who uses alchemy in place of proper magic.
Yeah. And speaking of such things, I'm usually the one who plays the smart spellcaster.
Yeah,
So
it's kind of backwards.
this is kind of an unintentional role reversal we're doing.
It's going to be fun.
Yes, I am definitely looking forward to tomorrow.
My character might be slightly inspired by both Aragorn and Gandalf from Lord of the Rings.
Yes. Speaking of which, I am I in the AI prompt I used for my character design, I put Golden Age Sandman as a Middle Earth Lord of the Rings ranger.
That sounds like it would have been interesting. Yeah, so physical appearance at least is the combination for mine.
That's
Personality. He kind of looks a little bit more like Aragorn, but probably behaves a little bit more like Gandalf. Should we call it when you finish that building?
I'll call after this one and the one I'm gonna put next to it.
Sounds good. Looks like you're having fun with the buildings.
Yeah, I didn't think. Well, I wasn't sure at first, but as I got into them, it was just coming together real well.
Let's see. What game should we play on Monday?
I have an idea, but it would kind of but it goes with my surprise announcement.
Is it essentially picking up a certain game we had tried before on co-op?
Not co-op, but yeah, but we play together. Yes.
I don't know if I feel like a versus anything.
Okay, we'll do co-op then.
We've also got
But-
that other game I was asking about, from the Shadows, or from the Ashes, or something like that.
Oh yes, you only mentioned that once. I'll need to install it.
Well, I'm asking about it now. If you'd like to do that one.
I would like to do it. I'll just need to take time to clear space. I recently acquired a lot of thumb drives, so I'll be able to move a lot of stuff onto those things for installing new games.
So it's essentially like Dark Souls mixed with first-person shooter.
Ah,
So it'll kind of be like playing Code Vein again, sort of, except with guns and different cameras.
good. I cannot wait.
Code Vein could be another fun one to play on stream together.
Oh yeah, that would be fun.
We're probably due for another playthrough on that one.
For sure.
We never even finished all the bosses with, I mean, we finished the main story, but
The DLC.
yeah.
Yeah, and in our first playthrough, without spoiling anything, we didn't say all the things we were hoping to save. So hopefully this time around, we'll be able to save everything.
People are working on a mod for, is it Breath of the Wild 2 to add co-op as well. Not Breath of the Wild 2, but Breath of the Wild TOO. To add...
Tears of the Kingdom.
No, that would be Breath of the Wild 2 as a TWO. But...
Oh, the first one.
Yeah, I was just saying, like, also TOO.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
But modders are working on adding co-op support for that via the emulated versions, so that might be a thing to look in the future. Hey, a Diglett!
Not quite. Just thought I'd throw this in last minute.
It's like a stuffed animal on the ground all torn up.
Yeah.
I'm surprised your character's not like, pull the car over!
They're probably going to. Well, he's too busy going woo-hoo. He probably never even noticed it.
Maybe we'll pick it up on the way back. You can pick up a wolf and I'll pick up... Or you can pick up a pup and I'll pick up that.
Yes. Oh, yeah, so... Yeah, have those names prepared for Monday. Well, not Monday, but...
Have those games
have it
prepared for the
prepared
next
for-
time we do the playtest.
Yes. You have, at a minimum, 2 weeks to prepare those names for the pup.
Yeah, I think let's aim for a week from Monday to do the next playtest.
Sounds, that would be a good span of time to aim for.
I think we're gonna try turning rolls down from 7 to 6 and see how that affects the gameplay.
Alright, that'll be good. And, there was something else. Oh, yes. Signing.
Signing the image.
Yes.
All right. Where should we sign it?
In this area where there's the least amount of scenery.
Okay, what's going on with my pen? Am I accidentally pushing a key down something or somewhere? I'm like stuck on color selection. There we go.
There's my signature.
Why don't you go ahead and write the date on it this time?
Sure. Let's see.
Ow. I feel like my cord's caught on something. Felt really short tonight.
Yeah, I hate it when that happens.
Alright, so when are you planning to do your stream next for your solo session?
Tuesday. I try to do all my solo sessions on Tuesdays.
Okay, so they
And
can
I'm-
look forward to that on Tuesday.
Yes, and I'm gonna do something on Wednesdays now, which I will announce at the end of my FGO event stream.
When is that expected to end? Tomorrow?
Yes, because I'm on the last story mission, and I'm sure there's gonna be a challenge quest. So when the stream ends, I'll announce what it is.
Sounds good. And then I don't have anything else at the moment except we'll be back Monday night.
Yes, I look forward to all of y'all coming to watch us have fun, and by extension, have fun with us.
Yep, we'll be shooting stuff soul style. Everyone have a good night. Thanks for joining us.
Yes. Good night, everybody.